All right, welcome to another expert interview. Start them all the same way. Always excited for the conversations I get to have. I get to meet and talk to the coolest people about all sorts of things that are relevant to business owners and people in general. Today is no exception, and I met this gentleman at the National Speaker Association conference. His energy was high, so I know he's going to bring it today. And it's a topic that everyone should care about because it's content. It's exactly what we're doing here. And a lot of people are struggling with what content do I create? How do I create it? What's good? What's not good? When should I post? How do I post? There's so many questions. I'm sure we'll get into them. As always, I let my guests introduce themselves. So tell us who you are, what you do, and we'll dive into it.
My name is Vaibhav Nahata Devin, and I'm so freaking happy to be talking to you again. It's been a while since we connected and chatted. To everyone who's watching, I am so excited that you're watching this, and I'm just saying a hello genuinely. My name is Vaibhav Nahata. I'm a TV show Nepal's national television. I'm the CEO and managing director at Nectar Media Solutions and Speaker Videos. We help people get booked, get sold using videos in social media, using scissor reels. We've generated over 100 million views for people using content that has led to a ton of business coming in as well. And yeah, I'm also an expert at stealing chocolates and cupcakes from my mom's bakery.
Tell us that story. Let's start there because that was a fun little teaser. So is that the family business then?
Yeah, it's my mom's little business. She started it 3 years ago, and it's like it's not easy, when the doors are shut and the keys get hidden every time because you keep stealing. You have to go on the pursuit at 11 p.m. at night to find the keys, find your way in there, scrape amongst all the materials to make sure that you steal in a way where the person you're stealing from does not realize you're stealing. And that's only, like, just to be clear, I only steal from my mom's bakery. I'm not stealing from your bakery. I'm not stealing from anyone else, nothing. But I have to because it's my mom's bakery. I can, I do free stuff for her. I make free videos, so that's just my compensation.
Hey, I understand. My wife's been baking bread all week, and as soon as it comes out of the oven, I get out there, cut a little piece, sneak it back, eat it, and then she's like, "What just happened?" I'm like, "Hey, someone's got to try it, right?"
Right, right.
So talk to me about, let's talk video content. It seems like people are recording more content than ever, but not necessarily using it. So kind of give me some background. Why did you end up doing this and choosing this as the lane of impact?
Yeah. So if you knew me as a middle school student, Devin, you'd know a few things like for sure, like math, science, karate, dance, music. I was great at none of them, but I was great at this one thing. And I was so freaking good at this one thing that everyone who knew Vaibhav, because that's my Nepalese name, knew me for this thing. I come from a little town in Nepal where if you go 3 miles towards the south, it's a different city, and 3 miles towards the north, it's a different country. Like, the most interesting thing to do in my city is to go up an escalator in a mall, And I started from there, and I was this kid who was so freaking good at this one thing. And my special thing, my special ability was getting beaten for no reason. So as a middle school kid, I was this kid who got bullied by every single kid, not just my classmates, not just my seniors, but my juniors will hit on me and just I had nothing to do. And while all of this was happening, long story short, there's something that happened in 2017 that changed my life. I wanted to do something and I did not know what to do. So I started doing everything. And the pursuit of doing everything, I landed a TV show in Nepal's national television. Long story short, I became one of the youngest TV presenter in South Asia at the age of 16. And while I was running my TV show, that led to other opportunities coming in. In the sense, schools around my city started to invite me to speak to the students and then across my country. And that's when I started using media for myself, like content for myself and social media to get seen, to get booked, and it worked for me. And I realized I had a lot of my speaker friends in my community that was like, "Hey, Happy, how you doing this? How you doing this?" I'm like, "Okay, here's how I did it." And I realized there's value in this, and I realized there's an opportunity to help speakers with video content. And that's why I started. Then we expanded into coaches, business leaders. And long story short, now we have a team of 25 people in speaker videos, 15 people in Nectar Media Studios. We've generated over 100 million views for speakers. And now, all day, every day, I get to be the geek trying to understand the algorithm to see what's working so I can help my clients with their video content.
Love that, man. So talk to me about what you're seeing working, right? So I know you've got data. I know you're working with a lot of people. Give us a few best practices when it comes to video content.
Yeah, sure. So a couple of things, right? As we start, Devin, what we have to understand in terms of what's working is there's an umbrella picture view of, we can say, hey, these are the three styles of videos that's working, or seven styles of videos that's working, But every niche is different, and that's why I hate the idea of giving generic advice for everybody. My goal with this is to see some umbrella patterns that we see are working with all of the people that are operating in all the different dimensions. And of course, you can pick what's relevant for you. I'm also going to tell you how you can find what is going to likely work for you with your content as well. The first thing that we're seeing working a lot right now is basically coming out and creating reaction videos, and reaction videos, as in, let's say you want to be perceived as like you are an expert in communication. What you're going to do is you take in the most, like, just go to TikTok, just go to Instagram, just go to LinkedIn, see the best performing video or best performing post, and then just convert that screen into half and then have the video play and share your thoughts into this. you know and that's happening in real time. What that does is, here's the thing, right? If you're reacting to someone who has authority, you are in a way borrowing their authority while you're talking about the thing. You're borrowing that credibility. And of course, when you create unique value with that content, that's really helpful as well. So one idea that I think all the people should be doing, that I don't think is getting as much attention, and that's why it's not as saturated, is creating reaction videos. It's a little bit work to figure out what are the viral videos to react to, but that's something that's really working right now. The second is, I sell videos, but to be honest, if you're specifically looking at platforms like LinkedIn, which is for B2B connections, really helpful, written form of, copywritten form of content is still working a lot. And that's what I'd suggest. The third thing is creating videos where we have talking head but a lot of personal b-rolls being used. So, like, the thing that leads to a video performing well and that's well established for the last decades of social media existing is what's happening in the first 3 seconds. What hook is being created right in the very beginning. That's the most important thing. Like, you want to say something very controversial in the very beginning. You want to say something that's very relatable. You want to say something that is very disgusting. You want to say something that is very god damn it ish. And that's what makes people pause. Like, the whole game is being able to stop people as they're walking away. you know and it's like very similar to you being in a carnival and trying to attract people towards your store. But here, your store is your words that you're showing up in terms of the video. So while you're doing that, the first 3 seconds remain the most important part of the video as they are. And please find something, like, even if you're saying that, let's say, for example, if you're talking about geopolitics right now, uh, the India and America, the United States relationship is at a brim. Instead of just saying that, you can say you do not believe what's happening in India because of what's happening there. Or something that is very unconventional. Like, and again, these are not my political opinions. I'm just giving examples of hooks. Like, one of the other things that can be said is India is a better friend of China than of states. Here's why. And then you go about explaining things. And that's how you can build up momentum and then go ahead and create content. So these are more vivid, distinct thoughts, but I hope that helps.
Yeah, it's great. I think that, like you said, based on your vertical, your niche, your audience, your platform, there's a lot of variety. But I think the three tips you gave are all things people can dabble in. Talk to me about frequency. How often do you recommend people post? Does that depend on industry and platform as well, or is some general feedback on that?
If you're posting less than 2 times a week and expecting results, please stop posting. you know, and that's a hook right there. But the whole idea is, when you're using social media to grab attention, the only thing LinkedIn, the only thing Instagram, the only thing Facebook, the only thing YouTube cares about is for people to stick to the platform longer so they can show more ads. That's the only thing they care about. And the way the people stick to the platform longer is when they see content from people they trust, people that they have high affinity towards. And the way that trust and affinity is developed is when there's consistent touch points, you know, and that's why Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, no, your content might be gold, but if you're not posting enough, like, LinkedIn does not want to care, because the only thing they care about is ads, and the ads is correlated to the watch, the platform scroll time. So at least 2 times a week is what I'd suggest if the goal is uh, you know, to create content if the goal is to draw business from creating content.
Talk to me about conversion, right? So if we create a lot of content, we post it, we're doing the hooks, we're doing all the best practices. How do we get the people to take action? Either sign up for our thing, get a free offer, book us for speaking. Talk about the conversion side of things.
This is so important because for a lot of time when people are like, of course, starting with their social media, they expecting they posted 10 videos. I'm like, hey, happy, I posted 10 videos and nothing happened. And I always, and again, I'll go in extremes and say it like, it's like trying to meet someone for a date and then expecting to make like a baby in the 10th date. That's not how it works. The way social media works in terms of CTAs as well is, again, it's an affinity game. It's a relationship game. So the whole idea is the way to convert people towards the end is, of course, one simple thought is having one clear CTA at the end of every video, only one. Like a lot of people, when it's short form content, you don't want to say people to like, comment, share. Just ask them to do one thing. you know and most often, if you can make your content shareable, that's the best thing that you can do. That's number one, right? Only one CTA, and you get to figure out what that is. Number two is be patient, because it's all about the amount of touch points that you create. you know and what that means is, what you then do is you create this audience, and you're likely not going to sell everyone everything right away. So my suggestion to my clients all the time is, the way to go about conversion is to create so much free value that it becomes ridiculous to not go ahead and then pay for something, right? And what that means is, you make a video, let's say, about communication skills and how to be more persuasive, and then the CTA is, here's how where you can download a free workbook of what you do. And once you have them in the mailing list, that's when you can go ahead and sell as well. Not to say that videos directly cannot lead to selling, that does happen, but it's all a affinity game. If the product that you're trying to sell is high ticket at all.
Let me follow up on something you said there, and I'm going to set you up. So I'll ask the question and you can go through it. But what about giving everything away? Like, there's still people that are in that mindset that, like, I have to gatekeep. I can't just give it all away. Like, what's your thoughts on how much you give away versus don't?
I mean, my whole idea is, I'll tell you what, right? I'll give an example of what I try to do when we're trying to build our business as well, right? We met at Influence, right? When we met at Influence, while I was there at the conference, there were about 800 to 1,000 people at the conference. I figured out who's coming to the event, and literally for 400 to 500 of people over there, I went ahead, I deployed 4 team members for 1 month on full salary, all day, every day, to just make free videos. And we literally spent like thousands of dollars just to be able to create more than 400 to 500 samples for people out there. And that led to more business than almost any of the people who were at the event as a vendor as well. What I'm trying to come to is, the way business work has changed. And what's changed is, there is n number of options that people can see, offering the same thing. It's so hard to be in the game of one, right? And the only way you create trust for people is to create unthinkable amount of just value, 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 and value. Like, for example, Devin, right? Since we connected, you have connected me to 3 different people, right? And if tomorrow there's something that I can, like, if someone comes and say, "Hey, Devin, you happy? Can you do this for me?" I'm like, "Sure, you've tried to help me. Whatever happened after that. But you were so nice to come in and say, 'Hey, happy, here are 3 people that you should talk to.' And I did not ask for it, you know. And that's how you go about creating value for people, I would believe. If you're in the intention of gating, well, I have this, I'm holding, yeah, sure. Okay, let's see how that's working out for you right now. If you don't change, I mean, we've heard that, right? If you keep doing the same thing and expect a different result, that's what, lunacism is.
I love that. So you talked about one example you used with, making videos, giving them away for free. Can you give us a client success story where they started creating and using more video and it led to either a speaking gig or a big client? Give us a real case study.
So a really good case study would be one of our clients. His name is Jerry Lee. If you just look him up in any of the platforms, I think in Instagram we got him to more than 1.6 million followers. In YouTube, there are videos that have hundreds of thousands of subscribers, of views, and tens of thousands of followers, subscribers as well. What it's interesting is what we created for him is a funnel where he consistently posts a video a day, so 30 videos a month. His videos end up racking anywhere between, and again, one video can outperform sometimes anywhere between 15 to 30, 50 million views a month, right? And I'm not, just so you know, because I am very transparent about these things, it's very hard to do that in the very beginning. Even if someone comes, I'm like, hey, this is my case study, but this is not what you should expect right away in the very beginning. I'd rather tell you that in day one. However, what we did with him is he then has a SaaS platform at the same time where we like his content is about helping college students get employment, right? So what we do is we create consistent content of him, giving value to people. That videos lead to conversions for the SaaS platform where people, use AI to create their resumes and stuff like that. And on top of that, consulting services where he helps people with creating their job strategy as they're going ahead in their career as well. So that's one good case study, I'd say. In terms of speakers, there's n number because we work with about 150 speakers as we talk right now, right? And the reason they use content is, again, it's multiple touch points. And what happens is, like, when they post for 15th time, there's a stranger that's connected to on LinkedIn. I'm like, God damn it, you've created so much value for me. Can you come in and, do this for all of my people? And that's how approach of social media should be for anyone out there. If there's anyone who says, I'm going to create 3 videos for you and you're going to rack up, 4 figures, 5 figures, 6 figures, run away. Like, run away as fast as you can, because that's not how this platform works.
I love that. I mean, that's a good red flag. Let's go there because I think there are a lot of people that promise views, promise engagements, and if they're promising that, there's usually a catch. So, what are some other
Correct.
red flags if people are looking for vendors to work with?
Definitely promising results. If anyone is coming with any sort of promise of results, like, grill them towards understanding how are they promising that. And if it is inorganic, that's worse because, again, you're not trying to create a cloud, you're trying to create a business, right? So it's like, if anyone is trying to promise you views or subscribers or followers, run away. If anyone is coming in and trying to say, like, this is what I've done, ask them, show me examples so I can have a look at it. And if there's any testimonials that you can build up. If anyone is coming up, like, ask them industry relevant questions, because we believe that, you can't be like, for example, we only work with speakers on one domain, and the other is startup founders and executives and, coaches. These are the only 4 verticals. If you're anyone else, I can't help you. And of course, if like an author coach, that's a different case. If that, but basically, just make sure they understand your niche, because if like, I know how to get some views, but if it's not leading to business, that makes no sense as well. So I think those are a couple of things that, speakers get to be careful about.
Let's talk about kind of the global reach, right? Because all the platforms we're talking about have so much reach. Well, before we hit record, right? You're in one country, you're traveling to another one, so you're also everywhere too. Do you need to adjust your messaging and content based on, different countries, different reach, different areas?
Definitely, because if we had a client who wanted to get more towards Latin America, and you can't try to target a specific kind of nuanced audience if you're just using English. That's a broader example. Even, for example, if I'm talking from India right now, I'm in India right now. The cultural context is completely different. So what's working in Wyoming won't work in Wayanad. It won't work in India. So you have to be contextual about what you're sharing, because hooks a lot of times, like, what's controversial in the States might not be controversial in the other part of the world. And you get to dig in to figure out what's working. And that's why we suggest a lot of industry specific, geography specific, research before you create any content.
Let's go again. We'll just keep going down that path. So,
Sure.
research wise, how do I do the research? So, how would someone who's listening go and figure out, a couple dozen hooks that they might be able to test and use?
A couple of ideas on this. Number one, before you go out there and try to create hooks or scripts or ideas, go ahead and get context. And what I mean by that is go out there. Like I would spend hours just going out there to see who are the best performers in my industry or space. For example, if I'm a public speaking coach for Fortune 500 executives, go out there to see what are the best performing videos, who are the influencers, with not an intention of trying to do something with it, but just take notes and spend hours just scrolling through, seeing what's working, and then going out there. Number one. Number two, if you see a video that's performing well, you know create a rubric of why it performed well, in the sense, okay, the hook was in the beginning, this is what was relatable for people, and this is how the build-up was. And what's interesting is you can take that format and create your own thing, and that's what I recommend a lot for our friends as well. Just go out there, what is a format that's working, and there can be an n number of formats that can exist at the same time. So go ahead, figure that format out. The third thing is, once you figure out uh, who you're trying to reach, what you're trying to get them to do. Once you have those ideas of broader picture of these are the things that can be done, go out then play with Chat GPT, not because it will give you the best hooks, but it will be a great, smart brainstorming partner. You know, like for me, I spend hours on my day just on Chat GPT, just running through ideas, and I get my own hooks most of the time, but he's able to give me, or she's able to, or whatever the pronouns are, uh, you know give me ideas on how to process a particular piece of information.
Love it. Do you find that there's a platform that's underutilized? Is there something out there people aren't paying attention to and probably should?
Yeah. So basically, what we are saying is LinkedIn is still underutilized, mostly because you'd see very less people create on LinkedIn, and most of the people consume because they're very like LinkedIn is more like you have to show up with a suit, and most of us are walking around in shorts. So it's like people are very conscious about how they present themselves when they are posting. So the most of people don't post often at all. So that's something when it comes to LinkedIn, I would believe, and that's where most of the business comes in for most people as well. So I'd go LinkedIn is highly, 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 highly underutilized as we go. And of course, I mean, you can make your space in any of the platforms, but if you're trying to grow your YouTube long form right now, it's hard. If you're trying to grow your podcast, it's super hard. Like I see people start podcast, I'm like, 1% of people complete 25 episodes, and you're barely going to get watched because when people don't know you, no one is going to spend 45 minutes, an hour, 2 hours watching your stuff. So start with short form content, start with like prioritize for LinkedIn, but then just repurpose it across the platforms, and that can be a good strategy.
Let's talk length of videos, right? You could reference LinkedIn or give me stats on each platform if you want. How long is a short video?
We suggest anywhere between 30 to 90 seconds. Most of the platforms have lifted their 1 minute mark for short form content. For example, YouTube has gone from 60 seconds to 3 minutes as well. But we're still seeing that length of 60 seconds is still performing well in most of the cases. So I'd suggest to keep up on that for most of the platforms. And for TikTok, it would be slightly shorter. However, if you have good stories to tell, longer ones work on TikTok as well. If I were to give a general rule of thumb, that would be 30 to 90 seconds.
Awesome. Do you have any tool tips? There's so many tools out there for editing, posting, whatever. Are there a couple of tools people should check out that might make their lives easier?
I would highly recommend, if you're trying to edit, CapCut is still the easiest editing tool out there. If you're just trying to get subtitles, Submagic is something that's really nice. For clipping, I suggest manual clipping if you're trying to take a long form and find the right bits, because like we've tried 17 different subscriptions, they just don't get it. Like the context part, it's not still there. I would highly recommend uh, to initially start posting from generic platforms instead of using Hotsuite or all of these platforms in the beginning. Because again, you're not in the platform. The Instagram wants to be on Instagram as much as possible, as often as possible. So yeah, that's a little bit of context of the tools that are helpful. I mean, of course, there's ChatGPT and Claude and Gemini for just brainstorming ideas and all of that stuff as well.
We spent a lot of time on video. Do you recommend people post other types of content as well? And if so, what are some recommendations there?
Yes. If this is more platform specific question. In LinkedIn, pictures plus text formatted is something that works really well. So highly recommending still on that, specifically for LinkedIn. When it comes to other platforms, for Instagram, carousels seem to be performing well at this point of time, which could change. Like Instagram changes like every 15 days and 30 days, so it would be different the next time we talk. But that would be a good length for good, interesting format of content for Instagram. For Facebook, picture, text, post along with videos is something that works well as well. I would believe those are the formats that you should aim for.
Love it. Talk to me. Let's go to the speakers. We have a lot of people in our community and world that are speakers, want to be speakers, or launching. You work with so many speakers. Give me some best practices on finding more stages. Obviously, using the videos there, but there's got to be some stuff you've picked up or some stuff you're seeing working. So share some general advice.
I would believe that when it comes to the speaker market as a whole, it's a positioning game. Like, how do you show up? Like, it's if I make you sit like between a 30,000 and a 10,000 or $5,000 speaker, in a lot of cases, you'd realize in terms of value, it's very hard to realize who's who. It's all about positioning. It's all about the assets that you create that help you show up as who you are. Number one recommendation is like even now, no matter what a speaker coach is trying to sell you, remember that speaking initially is all going to be about your relationships that you build up and people that you know. So whatever you niche you're operating in, start like it genuinely starts with going out there again, creating free value. Organizations around you get great footage. Once you have great footage, then go about applying to the right programs that are happening. And there are platforms like Stage Hopper that you can use. There are other platforms out there that show you different opportunities that are coming up. Apply to them. They might be slightly low ticket in the very beginning, but then that could lead to things as well. Once you're confident about your messaging, once you have the right assets like a really powerful demo video, a decent social presence, then you can go out there with your cold outreach campaigns to reach out to more and more of the meeting planners in your space, to try to book engagements. We work with speakers all the range from charging 50 grand for each speaking engagements to some who are not getting paid for speaking engagements in the beginning. And the biggest differentiation factor is the trust that they have established, the numbers that they are targeting in terms of the volume, and then that leads to results coming in as a whole.
Love it. Talk to me about trade shows. So, we met at a trade show and obviously you have an approach to how you attack it because you provided a ton of free value instantly. You prepped a lot. What are some other tips and strategies you're seeing working in the trade show world for those people who are sponsoring or showing up to trade shows?
I wouldn't call myself an expert at this, but it does seem to work for me. My whole intention is like there are three principles I run by. Number one, create like freaking value first. You know, even if you don't close clients, you build up relationship that leads to business over time, and not everyone has to convert. Number two, you have to be the first one in the room and last one to leave. Like that's how you work the room, right? And number three, be the guy who shows up genuinely from a place of building relationships. I go out there just shaking hands, meeting people. I don't want to be next to my table. I have someone who can sit over there. I want to talk to people. Like, I would rather close business probably more from being in the dining hall talking to people instead of the ones that might find me and my booth as they're working across. Those are three things that I like try to live and die by. And of course, sometimes it's different. And like when I fly, it's like 12 hours of difference. So I've tried to make it work so far, which might change in the future. The first to come, the last to leave. But, that's the goal.
All right, we covered a lot of ground, a lot of platforms, a lot of stats, a lot of different directions. What did we miss? What haven't we talked about you feel like people need to hear?
I believe for people to realize when you're, creating content in today's day and age is not a choice. Like, I mean, it's a choice, but it's a have to because that's how you connect to people. Imagine having 1,000 people in the room and then imagine 1,000 people in social media. The only difference is they're in a more comfortable state while they're consuming your content. So creating content is a no-brainer. Go out there to create stuff for yourself. And if you want to save time in the process of doing that, seek help and find people that can help you in the process.
That's amazing. How can people connect with you? What's the best way to reach out?
You can just reach out to me on LinkedIn as Vaibhav, Vaibhav Nahata. You can look us up at www.speakervideos.co.
Awesome. If you're watching, whatever platform you're on, go below. We'll link all of that. Happy. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much for your time, your wisdom, your knowledge. We'll see you next time.
Thank you so much. Take care, Devin, and everyone else.